Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Coach Brian. Welcome back to the channel, The Hall of Gains. Now, I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. And so today's video is 5 simple tips that is going to help you with hunger and cravings in your diet. Now, if you are dieting, which is what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to lose weight and get to a lower body fat percentage, it's probably going to come to the point where you've eaten too much food, like the amount of calories you're supposed to eat throughout the day for your diet, but you're still hungry. Or you're craving ice cream, which you can't really have on your diet. Now, so some of these tips, most of them are for hunger. Then I'll add also a tip for cravings as well, or a couple tips for cravings too. So with that being said, all this information, I will try and provide resources in the bottom to, show that there is facts behind this. I'm not just stating stuff, but also I've learned all of this through the nutrition coach class at the National Academy of Sports Medicine. So that entire class is full with links and resources. So that's where I get almost all this information from. Now, the first tip I'm going to start with is fiber. Now, this is crazy that almost like the majority of Americans do not get close to enough fiber in their diet. Fiber is basically a carbohydrate, and it is what basically goes into your digestive system, and it is so important because if you don't get enough fiber, you're not going to poop well. And also, fiber is extremely filling. Now, I didn't realize how important fiber was until I took my nutrition class. I was on average eating about 3 to 4 grams of fiber a day. And yeah, it wasn't working well in the stomach, and I was always hungry. But then after learning this in my class, that I should be having probably roughly 30 grams of fiber at least a day, I've switched to doing that. And yes, I am way more full when I incorporate a lot of fiber in my diet. So now I never go below 30 grams of fiber a day. Usually I'm hitting at least 50 grams of fiber a day, sometimes 60 grams of fiber per day. Now, fiber technically is a carb, but it is not counted really towards your overall carbs because it's kind of how net carbs work. It works differently than actual carbohydrates that can add basically water weight to you. So, because this would basically just works more so in the stomach. So, what I do is I'll have a lot more beans or lentils. And what I pretty much do is I can get all the fiber I need, or at least the majority of it, from one meal. Just go to the grocery store. You can get these tortilla shells that are stocked full of fiber. I believe it's 19 grams of carbs for 15 grams of fiber, and then it's only 70 calories for 5 grams of protein. What I do is I make a quesadilla or a burrito with 2 of those shells. That gets me 30 grams of fiber, all that I need for the day. Then I'll put some lentils or beans on it. That'll put me up to 40 to 45 grams of fiber, and the rest I'll get from fruit and just other stuff that's a part of my diet. So having high fiber is extremely important, and it's actually very easy to do. It's extremely easy. Just go to the grocery store, buy the high fiber tortilla shells, and if you just have 2 shells, you're going to get basically all the fiber you need, unless if you're on an extremely big diet. So fiber, high fiber, that is very important. It's going to help with hunger. Fiber is one of the best things to fight hunger. Now next, another great thing for fighting hunger, and it's also multi-purpose, is getting enough protein, getting high protein. Now, basically, what I've kind of find works for me best for muscle growth is getting 0.85 grams of protein per pound of body weight, which means right now I'm getting about 207 grams of protein per day. Now, you could probably go a bit less or go a bit higher or whatever, but for me, 0.85 is the best. But that also, the thing with protein is it is also an extremely filling macronutrient. Out of carbs, fat, and protein is the most filling. And that's why high protein meals are going to be extremely filling. If you think about it, a little bowl of chips versus an equivalent amount of chicken. So imagine if it's 30 grams of carbs and chips, 30 grams of protein in chicken. The chicken is going to be way more filling and overall better for you. And the reason why you want to have high protein is not just because it's filling, but if you're doing resistance training, you want to have high protein because you want to repair and build muscle. And the more muscle you have, the more metabolic efficiency you have, meaning the more weight you lose. So, yeah, it's very important to have protein in your diet and maybe have a bit higher than what you actually need to build and repair muscles. While I only need 207 grams of protein, it's very rare that I will get less than 220. In fact, there's oftentimes where I go 230, 240. Even the other day, I went to 270 grams of protein because that's just how my diet worked that day. So high protein is going to help with that hunger. Now, the third one, this one is probably going to be kind of controversial, and it does have to do with Diet Coke. Now, this will help with just overall diet, hunger, cravings. That's low calorie or no calorie drinks. These are hated on so much because the media likes to say that these are worse than, actual soda filled with sugar in it. No. They say you might have an increased risk of cancer if you drink these. Well, do you know what is actually guaranteed to give you an increased risk of cancer and increased risk of many other chronic conditions like diabetes and other chronic related diseases? Being fat. This Diet Coke has 0 well, really has probably 2 calories in it, but it's low enough where they can say 0. And the sparkling ice, it's only 5 calories for this whole thing. What's better? Just let's be logical here. Being fat is proven a causal thing of increased risk of cancer, heart diseases, diabetes, all of that. Okay? Whereas there are some studies that show correlation between Diet Coke and increased cancer risk. So only cancer increased risk, right? Only cancer increased risk. And it's correlation, so no proof, no causation, whereas it's proven that being fat leads to way worse things at higher rates, right? So that just means that it's completely illogical to use normal Coke over Diet Coke. And the thing with these things is that, see this sparkling ice, it's only 5 calories. It's tasty. It's carbonated. If drinks are carbonated, it's going to fill your stomach a bit more, help you be more full. Same with this Diet Coke here. And also has caffeine in it, which will be one of my later points. But drink diet sodas. Drink this sparkling ice with just 5 calories in it. You're completely fine. You're not going to get cancer. It's not going to increase your risk of cancer. Like I said, correlation does not equal causation. The studies that say, oh, Diet Coke, these sodas are going to give you higher risk of cancer, it's not true. They couldn't find a causation for those. So remember, correlation does not equal causation. Take a little sip of this Diet Coke because it's actually tasty. Before my diet, I used to hate diet sodas. Now I actually love it. Now, I used to always crave soda. Now I don't because I can have a Diet Coke. I used to always crave sweet drinks. Now I don't because I can have a sparkling ice. It's, 5 calories. It tastes good. It's carbonated. It's only 5 calories and it's filling. I could drink 2 of those. It's only 10 calories. So little calories I don't even have to add it to my diet tracker. And it's going to keep me full. Remember, volume, liquid volume is going to keep your stomach full. That's why you should also be drinking a lot of water. But I know for some people, even for me, it's like, I don't want to drink a liter of water. But then I could easily drink a liter of Diet Coke or a liter of sparkling ice because it tastes good. So that's going to be helping with battling your hunger and helping with cravings if you crave sweet drinks. Now, number 4 is caffeine. Caffeine is really good for you, actually. There's all these studies that show it's actually good for you. It's good for fat loss. Drinking caffeine will increase your metabolic efficiency, so it'll increase your metabolic rate, so you actually burn more calories. I've seen studies where it shows that a single cup of coffee, which is 90 milligrams of caffeine, can just increase your metabolic efficiency to the point where you just burn an extra 20 to 30 calories a day. So if you can have, I believe the recommended limit is 400 to 500 milligrams of caffeine a day. So that'd be like equal to a few cups, which means you could get to the point where you're burning an extra 100 calories a day just from how much caffeine you're consuming. And then that equates to almost an extra pound a month, which might not sound great, but that's 12 pounds a year. Imagine you just did your diet for a year. Let's say you went from 280 to 220. Well, if you had basically burned an extra 100 calories a day, you'd be down to 208. That's a lot better than 220, right? So also, caffeine reduces the amount of ghrelin. Ghrelin is what kind of increases your hunger. I believe it's a hormone that increases your hunger. It stimulates it. So if you drink caffeine or consume caffeine, it will reduce your ghrelin. So I highly suggest to a lot of people, have caffeine. It's not really bad for you. I believe that there are some people that can't consume it. That's fine, don't consume it. But most people are going to be able to consume caffeine. So basically, I think I have 3 cups of coffee a day and then 1 Diet Coke. So I have about 350 milligrams of caffeine a day. And it does help with hunger. It definitely does. It also is great because if you go to your workouts energized, you can work out harder and then burn more calories. Then, the final point, and that is having basically calorically dense or non-caloric dense foods that are kind of big and can fill your stomach, but are not calorically dense. So like leafy green vegetables, other types of vegetables like carrots, fruit. Y'all carbophobes need to stop hating on fruit. I can have 50 calories of frozen blueberries, 50 calories of frozen strawberries, and 50 calories of frozen mangoes in a bowl. That's going to basically fill my bowl. There's going to be fiber in it. It's going to taste amazing. It's completely a filling meal, or kind of like a snack, for only 150 calories. But people, for some reason, hate on fruit because they're carbophobes, because there's sugar in it. Guys, it's fruit. Do you really think it's going to be bad for you? Think logically here. Anyways, also, spinach. This is one thing to do. If I'm really hungry, I don't have many calories left, there's only 7 calories per cup of spinach. So I can just fill up 2 cups of spinach, and I can eat spinach just out of the bag. Or sometimes I'll just cook it up, add a little bit of salt and pepper on it, and I can eat it like that. Maybe add a little bit of cheese on it, and not even like the point where it's like 100 calories, maybe like 50 calories of cheese. It's going to be extremely filling. It's going to fill up your stomach, and it's not calorically dense. Like I said, 2 cups of spinach. That's a lot of spinach for 14 calories. I remember one time there was a gallon of my favorite ice cream in the freezer. I was like, I'm not going to be able to resist this. Because back then my willpower was not as good. So it's like, well, maybe if I fill myself up before I eat that ice cream, I won't be able to eat as much. So what I did is I had 3 cups of spinach, only 21 calories, and then I drank a cup of water and a Diet Coke. And I could only have 3 scoops of that ice cream. I ended up only having like 250 calories of that ice cream because I was able to fill myself with the Diet Coke and the water. So that put volume in my stomach. And then a lot of spinach, which is not calorically dense. So that's a tactic you can use if you know you're going to break it. Fill yourself with food, then do it. And also, this is one thing I suggest to a lot of people, especially if you love fruit and you have cravings for ice cream. Basically, every night before I go to bed, I crave something sweet because I used to eat ice cream every night before I go to bed. Now, I pretty much have fixed that for myself, where I kind of just said, I have a bowl of 50 calories of frozen blueberries, 50 calories of frozen strawberries, and 50 calories of frozen mangoes. Sometimes it'll be a bit more, sometimes it'll be a bit less. But guys, fruit's very sweet. It's tasty. I really do think it rivals the taste of ice cream most of the time. 2, it's way healthier. 3, it's way more filling. If you took 150 calories of that ice cream versus that 150 calories of those frozen fruit, the frozen fruit's going to fill you up way more. And also, there's going to be some fiber in it. I think that's partially why. It's not as calorically dense, and there's fiber in it, so it's going to be a bit more filling. So that is something you can do. For 1, the sweetness is going to help that craving. And 2, it being frozen, it's going to be like, you'll associate the frozen sweetness of that with the frozen sweetness of ice cream. So it heavily reduces my cravings for ice cream when I eat frozen berries or frozen fruit. Now, it doesn't have to be blueberries, mangoes, or strawberries. It can be other like raspberries, blackberries, other fruit that is not calorically dense, and fruit really isn't. And I made a video in my past of like using a protein shake. Well, you could do something like take that, just go back and watch that video, but instead of the chocolate peanut butter banana, just use vanilla protein, use stevia, frozen berries, and almond milk, and you're basically going to have a smoothie that tastes almost as good as a Jamba Juice, but way less calories, more filling, and more protein. So it's going to be tasty. It's going to be like having a Jamba Juice. It's going to be cheaper, though, and way healthier for you. So that's one way you can get rid of cravings, is to substitute healthier things that are similar. So not just like something sweet, like an actual blueberry, a frozen blueberry, because it simulates that ice cream. It's frozen, it's cold, it's refreshing. That is something that you can do. That's something I do. It works wonders. I used to be addicted to ice cream. I used to have a bowl, sometimes 2 bowls a night. Right now, I think I had ice cream. Well, it was my cheat day like a couple weeks ago, so I had ice cream. But I can easily go without it. In fact, one of my cheat days, I didn't even have ice cream, even though it was my cheat day. I have a cheat day once every 3 weeks. But that being said, overall, that's it. Eat high fiber, eat high protein. These drinks are completely fine. They're not going to give you cancer, okay? Have caffeine, and then have calorically dense or non-calorically dense foods. Spinach, leafy greens. You can have carrots. You can have fruit, frozen fruit. Tastes sweeter, I promise you. But that being said, guys, thanks for taking my advice. Hopefully this does help you. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Peace out.